Well, good afternoon. I'm Kathleen Terry with South Bay Live, doing a wonderful interview with another wonderful resource in our community who is not only a wonderful artist, but is doing wonderful work in donating projects to schools both nationally and internationally. I'd like you to meet Nichole Blackburn Manthe.
Thank you.
And we are in her studio right now, and so that's a great thing because right behind me you can see one of her decorative artworks that she does for clients, and later on I'll show you some of her other work. So what we wanted to do today is, with you, Nichole, is not only hear about your business, okay, but also about your wonderful nonprofit. So we've got two things we'd like to share with the audience today. So I'd like to start out by you telling us a little bit about your company. It's called Celadon, right?
Celadon Studio.
Celadon Studios. So tell us, when you founded this, and what do you do? What's it all about?
Sure. So Celadon Studio is a boutique fine art company, and I specialize in murals and canvas pieces and children's rooms. And I've been doing it for about 20 years.
Wow. And you are a Redondo Beach resident.
Born and raised. Yep.
Born and raised. And where are we sitting today? What is this place that we're in today?
Yep, so this is a really special place. This is also in the South Bay. It's called Hawthorne Arts, and it's a beautiful facility that houses dozens of artists. We all have our art studios here, and we all work and create out of the space.
Wow, and I've just been walking around this building. I've never even known this place was here. You have so many artists in this one complex, and it's just amazing that we have this so close to Manhattan Beach, and I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, it's a hidden treasure.
So your business has a very interesting name.
Yeah.
So where did that name come from?
That's a good question. Everyone always asks that. So interestingly enough, Celadon is a color, and it's a very obscure color, but it is it can be green, it can be blue, it can even go yellow, and it depends on the skills of the artist. So if you don't know how to mix it, you can just turn it gray. But if you know how to mix it, you can create all these different nuances.
Wow.
So it's an interesting color.
And did you kind of just find the color and then say that'd be a name for a studio, or how did that go?
So it was my early 20s, and I was thinking, what would I name my studio name? And I thought I wanted something that someone would ask about, like, what is that? And then once you explained it to them, they're like, oh, I'm in the know now. I know something about this new color that a lot of people don't know about.
Right,
yeah.
Right. So apparently you do all kind of decorative work for homeowners and businesses. And I'm going to talk about your murals a little bit later, but could you kind of explain a little bit about your process?
Oh, I'd love to, thank you. So let's say I meet with a client and they tell me, hey, Nichole, I want a mural on my wall. And I'll ask them, what's the theme? So let's say our theme is going to be fish. So what I'll do is I will go back into the studio and I will just research tons of different photos, images, and I'll come back to the client. I'll give them a mood board, and they'll say, I like this and I don't like this. From that, what I'll do is I'll start crafting some sketches. And based on those sketches, we'll kind of look at it and say, okay, that's the general idea of the mural that we like. From there, I create painted samples.
Okay, so these are the painted samples?
These are the painted samples.
So I found this so interesting because if you look, this is all different kinds of samples of the kind of things that she can do. So it's like, I guess it's just totally tailored to whatever the client is interested in, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they take the sample, and then what do they do?
And pretty much the sample is going to be almost an exact representation of what the mural is going to look like. So it's either going to be a cross-section of the mural, or it's going to be the full mural painted out, and it's going to show the custom color palette, everything that we designed, and then they know exactly what's going to go on the wall before I even get there.
All right.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I was looking at your bio and at your website, and you've had quite an extensive travel history. Like, how many countries have you gone to?
50 plus and counting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so that really adds to the kind of work she's doing because she's been all over the world. So let's talk a little bit about this nonprofit that you founded. And how does that relate to the work that you're doing? Because your job is to do decorative painting for homes and businesses, but this nonprofit is something that is totally different. What's it called?
So my nonprofit is called Big Sky Countries.
Okay.
And the reason why it's called Big Sky Countries is because I take a sky, which is my favorite thing to paint, and I'll take a sky and I'll photograph it from the country I was in last, and I'll put it into the next mural. So what I do is I go around the world donating these murals, and each of the murals has a sky from the previous country I visited. So the concept is that we're all under the same sky.
Wow. So what countries have you done this in? You're donating these to what, schools or where?
Schools, hospitals, orphanages, teen shelters, anything for kids or teens that are 18 and under. And the first year I did this, I started out and I did 5 countries. No donations. I just used all my own money. And I went to the Philippines, I went to Bolivia, I went to Ireland. And then I finished actually in New Orleans. It was a year to date from Hurricane Katrina, and I donated a mural to a school there that was being rebuilt.
Wow.
So it was just an amazing experience.
Yeah, so these murals are all over the world. Yep. But not only are they all over the world, but they're in different kinds of places. Yeah. So you have them in schools, hospitals, orphanages.
Orphanages, yeah, anything. And I really go for the facilities that don't have funding, that really don't have access to getting donations.
Right.
So the last one I did right before the pandemic was in Sri Lanka for a special needs facility. And I was supposed to go out and do 1 mural, ended up doing 2 murals. We did a big party, and they just got it was just great. It was really great.
Right. Now, have you done any murals locally?
You know what I have? So this year, well, every year I actually donate a lot of murals to LA Unified School District.
Okay.
So this year alone, I've already done 3 murals for LA Unified, donated. And also another mural that's locally here in the South Bay for Michelle's Learning Center.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah,
yes,
so
yes.
I give a lot back to LA.
Now, what's the relationship between when you go in to create the mural and maybe the kids that are in the facility? Do they help you? Or do you do this all by yourself? Well, what's the process?
Everyone gets put to work. No. But you know what? It's great because when I work with these facilities, first of all, they get to pick the theme of the mural. So I don't get to come in and say, this is what we're doing. And it's usually something that all the kids relate to. It's something cultural, something that has to do with their community. And I get input from the children and the staff. Sometimes they even get painted into the mural as subjects of it. And then the kids also get to come and paint, and so does the staff.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So it becomes a collaborative experience. And you're donating these murals, is that correct?
Everything's donated. The facility, the only thing they need to provide is a blank wall.
Now, how long does it take?
I would say the international murals, I try to get them done between 7 to 10 days. And then after that, we do a big party and a celebration. And actually, the ones in LA also, I try to do in about a week. When I do the international ones, I do them all myself with the kids. Lately, the Los Angeles ones, I bring in a couple other artists and volunteers because, you know, the more hands, the more we can donate. So. Right.
So now, if you're doing these murals and you're donating them, do you need help from the community in any way? What could we offer you? What are some of the things that we might be able to give you?
Oh, thank you. You know, as with any nonprofit, we run on donations. So always appreciate donations. You can donate through my website, Big Sky Countries. But you know, and again, like $5 makes a difference. $5 can buy several paintbrushes for a mural. $50 can buy 2 cans of primer. So this money goes a long way. Little donations make a big difference. But also people can come and volunteer.
Oh, to actually paint?
Yeah, people can come and volunteer to paint.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, and I, like for instance, there was a mural that I did for a school in Lomita, and we had so many kids one day that came to paint, and so I had volunteers take, you know, 5 kids at a time, and we had probably, I think we had 7 groups of 5 kids, and so we had like 10 volunteers, and we got to manage the kids painting, so everyone got to work on the mural.
Wow, this is starting me to think about all the groups that I belong to
Yes.
that might be able to collaborate with you, their organizations. I belong to Rotary, and we're always looking for things to get involved in the community. What a great thing this would be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we, I also do donate like art classes and things to schools that are in need. So things like that, I have volunteers come in and volunteer with the kids while we do like a 2-hour, 1-hour art project. So there's always something.
Now, I know that they can donate their time to come and volunteer, and money can buy certain things. But I thought I saw something about paint. If they have paint or something,
Yep.
they can donate paint. Yeah.
So I also do take paint as donations. Right now, I have so much paint because with COVID and everything happening, it's just been stockpiling. So I will take paint. I'm pretty picky on the paint I'm taking right now, but you never know. And then also, I have people who have like old art supplies that are still good, or teachers who are art teachers who have paper and things that we can always use for crafts. So if people reach out, I'll always take a look at everything and see what we can use.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, there was another thing that I saw on the website. She's got a phenomenal website. You got to check out the website, because the website not only shows her murals, but it talks about how to donate. And lastly, it also has testimonials, letters, and cards, things of people who have said the work has been phenomenal. But I saw something about a birthday party. What's that?
Yes. So this is one of my favorite things to do. And actually, it can actually be any kind of a party. So what I've been doing, especially with the international murals, because the kids there and the students, like, they get so excited about the smallest things. So what I like to do at the end is throw them a party. So Sri Lanka, at the end, we did this big party. We got a character. It was like this cartoon character that they love. We had someone come and dress up. We had face painting, music. And then what I like to do is donate like some kind of party food. So we'll go to like a local bakery, something to support the locals, and we'll get all this food brought in. The kids are invited. If they've got parents, their parents can come. If it's a place like an orphanage and there's, they don't have their parents there, then we have the staff all come. And we had a dance instructor come one time in the Philippines. These kids can dance. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
So to your point though, if anyone wants to donate for a party, parties can be thrown anywhere from $100 donation up to $250, depending on how extravagant we want to get. But it doesn't take much to throw a party for these kids.
Oh, so you're doing the party for kids in these facilities?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Not so I'm going to have my kid at a birthday party and do this.
Right.
Okay, so that means then your organization has done these murals all over the world. Okay. Do you have a favorite mural? Something that you go, it was my favorite mural that I ever did, or your favorite experience in creating a mural?
So it's interesting that you say this because, and this is the truth, really like my favorite one is always the last one, because it's almost like when you travel, your favorite country is the last one that you went to, but each of them is so different. And I've had murals, donation murals, where I've come back and I've just been so inspired to just create and just pump out more murals. I've had other donation projects. I've come back and I have lifelong friends. I was out in Sandy Hook in Newtown within a year of what happened to them in that community, and I stayed with a local family there for almost a month, and I left there. I still talk to so many people in that community. I mean, things that you would never imagine, the friendships that are created out of this.
Right. So that's kind of another side benefit is not only are you giving back, but you're making all these friends throughout the entire world. I'm just curious, because you've got a very thriving business of decorative painting, and then you're doing these murals. I mean, what percentage of your time? I mean, it seems like you must be pretty busy trying to do both of these. How are you juggling this?
It's crazy. I'm praying that someone invents the 46-hour workday. But you know what? It's funny because I truly feel if you do what you love, which I love to paint and draw, it's just part of my lifestyle. So I don't really have any days off in the sense of it could be Sunday and I'm working on sketches for a mural, or I'm having lunch with a friend, which is how my next donation mural started. I was talking to a friend of mine who's from Colombia, and we start talking about, you know, murals, and she goes, oh, I've got the perfect place for you to donate. She wrote a proposal, and, you know, so I'm constantly working, but it's fun.
Right. Do you ever think about cloning yourself?
Well, you know, funny enough, I have an identical twin sister, so I was.
Oh, do you really?
I do. I have a twin.
Because I'm just, as I'm looking at this, I'm just going, wow, this is such a deal. So the other thing too is that if you go to her website, you know, you can donate money. $5 really is a big help. Yeah. You can, you know, recommend a place for a mural. You can do a party. You can provide supplies. You can volunteer. But the other thing that I thought was equally important is spreading the word. And that's what we're doing here today at South Bay Live, is we're spreading the word. We want people to know about these really hidden talents and resources that we have in our community that oftentimes nobody even knows about. So if it wasn't for a website like this, you would never probably have heard about the Hawthorne Arts Complex or the work that you're doing. So before we leave, is there anything like you'd like to say to our audience about your wonderful passion project?
Oh, thank you so much. If you would like any more information or to get involved, the website for my nonprofit is Big Sky Countries, and if you want any more information on murals, my business website is celadonstudio.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we so enjoyed spending time with you today, being in your lovely studio, seeing some of your work, and thank you all for coming today and joining us at South Bay Live. We are always glad to share with you what's happening in our cities.